Hey y'all, I'm Martika and welcome back to my channel. If you want to see how I made this wine braised short ribs, make sure that you stay tuned. It's with a mushroom sauce, so hopefully you like this. And I have the recipe up next. Bye. Hey y'all, I'm Martika and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. Today I'm about to do some wine braised short ribs with mashed potatoes. So what you're gonna need is some olive oil, some garlic, fresh minced garlic. Right here I have my onions. Now I went ahead and marinated my onions, some of my onions and my meat inside of a Ziploc bag with my wine. So that's why some of these onions are going to be purple, and then I have some ones I just cut up which is white. My season blend, which is just salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, I have that in here. You're going to need some bay leaves, you're going to need some tomato paste, some portobello baby mushrooms, of course some more wine, and of course your short ribs. Remember, these look purple because they have been soaking overnight in wine. And I have some flour here in this bag because I'm actually going to coat it and sear it. That's completely optional. You can just sear your meat without the flour. I like it because it makes a nice thick gravy once it all start cooking together. So for your wine, you can use a Merlot or a Cabernet. I use the Cabernet. Or if you don't want to use wine at all, you can always use a beef broth. You don't have to use wine, but y'all know how I love my wine, so hence wine braised short ribs. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, I'm going to give my hands a little wash, and then I'm going to come back so that I can season up my short ribs. So I'll be back. Alright y'all, so I'm back from washing my hands. Now what I'm going to do is get ready to season up both my short ribs and my flour. So I'm going to take up my little seasoning that I just mixed up. Again, you know, my seasoning I use on everything. Onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper. And normally I use complete seasoning, but I didn't want to use any on this. So I'm going to make sure you season up each side of your short rib really, really good. And then I have some tongs right here as well. And don't worry about the fat that you see, because once that starts cooking, it's going to come off. Now you can go on and just cut it off, or you could just wait and get it as it's cooking, because it also gives you a little flavor. Okay. And you know you're going to salt once you get done cooking. You know you can taste it for salt halfway through once your meat is starting to cook, because you don't want it to be overly salty. So remember that. I'm going to season all my little sides. Not the side with the bone. Y'all see how it's purple? Then wine turned it purple. These are going to be so good. Alright. Season that up. Alright, now I'm going to come on over here to the stove, and I'm going to turn my stove on to about 5, and I'm going to just add a little bit of olive oil to my pan just to start heating it up. And while that's heating, I'm going to take my Ziploc bag of flour, all-purpose flour, and I'm just going to dump in the rest of this little blend. Give this a little shake. And then I'm just going to toss in and move my onions to the side. And then I'm just going to toss in my little short ribs. Give them a dusting of flour so that I can start to sear them. So I will be back once I put these into the oil. Alright y'all, so my pan is heated up. I don't have a Dutch oven, so I'm going to have to use what I have. And you're just going to set your ribs down into the pan. and you're going to sear each side. Alright. So I'm going to sear these on up, and I'll show you how it looks once I'm flipping it. Alright, y'all, so I'm turning my meat. As you see, it's going to start getting on the sides. Alright. Now what I did do was I did go in and I added a little more oil to it, just because it was kind of burning out too quick. So I'm going to continue to cook all 4 sides, and then I'm going to come back when I get ready to add my onions and stuff. Alright, y'all, so I've taken my short ribs out after searing all the sides, and I'm just going to move it over here. Next, I'm going to go in with my onions. And you notice I had to turn my pan so that it can be hot all over. So I'm going to go in with my onions, as well as my minced garlic, and I'm just going to cook this down for about 2 to 3 minutes until my onions are translucent. And then I'm going to add in my mushrooms. So your onions is going to pick up all of that, the burnt little stuff from when we seared the flour on the ribs. This is going to pick all that up. So we're going to just let this cook down for a minute, and I'll be back. Alright, so now I'm about to add in my mushrooms. I used organic baby portobellos. You could use any kind. These are already washed and cleaned. And I just used a, let me see how many ounces this is. I just got a regular tub. I think it's like a 16-ounce one. Yeah. Alright, a 16-ounce container of baby portobello mushrooms that was sliced. And I'm just going to cook this for about 5 more minutes. You're going to cook this for 5 minutes until your mushrooms are tender. And then we're going to add in our wine. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready to add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Alright, so you can get any brand tomato paste that you want. I just use store brand, nothing fancy. Alright, I'm going to open it up, y'all. So go in 1 and 2. Alright, I'm going to give this a nice stir. And thank you again, Shawnee Faces. If you're watching this, I'm loving my wooden utensil set. Wooden spoon set you got me. Alright, and now we're going to go in with 2/3 cup of water. And now I can turn this up a little higher, because I did turn both eyes. As you see, I have it a long way. I did turn both eyes down to a 3, so I'm going to turn it back up to about a 5. Alright, and I'm going to let this come to a little boil. Actually, I'm going to turn it to a 6. So I'm going to let this come to a boil, and then I'll be back when it's time to add the wine in. Alright, so now I'm going to just go in. As you see, it's boiling, and I'm going to add in 2 cups of red wine. Alright, so now all of that stuff that was on the bottom, all your seasonings that, you know, got stuck on there, that is now off. And at this point, you're going to add a little salt and pepper in here. I'm also going to go in with 2 bay leaves. And I'm going to taste this before I add my meat back to it. There you go, 2 bay leaves. I'm going to season this up with a little salt and pepper. And then I'm going to add my short ribs back into this pan as this is starting to boil. And then I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to put this in a 225-degree Fahrenheit oven. My oven has already been preheated. And then I'm just going to bake this covered with aluminum foil in my top for about 4 to 5 hours. So I'll be back. Alright, y'all, so I'm just putting my short ribs back into this to my little pan, pot, whatever you want to call it, roasting pan. Little key facts: if you had a Dutch oven, you would use a Dutch oven. If you don't have a Dutch oven, you could just sear these in the pan, put them in a crock pot. If you don't have a crock pot, you can use just a regular pot that is oven safe. That's like all metal, no plastic. All right, so now that this is inside of our sauce, I'm just going to cover this with aluminum foil, like I said. And then I'm going to put my lid over it, and then we're just going to bake it. This is very simple and very easy. I almost put you in the mind of making a roast. If you've ever made a roast, then you know how easy this should be. All right, so I'm going to put another little piece of foil on it, cover it with my pan, and I'll see y'all in about a couple of hours when it's time for me to make my mashed potatoes. All right, y'all, so I just took these out of the oven to see how they was coming along. These have been in the oven for about 4.5 hours. So the meat seems to be done, but I'm going to still cook it. As you can see, like, I want this one to kind of fall apart just a little bit more. But like some of these, like over here, has already kind of started falling apart. Y'all, baby, these nights tiffin be so good. So what I went ahead and did was I skimped some of the oil off, which is right here. You can leave it if you wanted to, but I skimped that off, and I see it's still a little bit more, so I'm gonna try to get a little more oil off of here, and I'm gonna put this back in the oven, uncover it, and I'm gonna let this go for about another 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'll be ready to plate it. All right. Oh yeah, also to let you know, I did halfway through, about 2 hours in, I turned my oven up to 300. So yeah, just to kind of kick it up a little more to help the cooking process go over a little faster. So yeah, so I'll be back to show y'all the finished product. All right, y'all, so everything is now done. This is the short ribs. I took the lid off and I let them, you know, caramelize on the top, and then, you know, I have the gravy right here, and then I just got some mashed potatoes over here to the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plate. I already cooked my mashed potatoes, so I'm going to take a little short rib, put that over there, and I'm going to go in with some of my mushroom sauce. And put a little bit over that. Okay. I'm going to add just a little bit of fresh parsley. And then I'm going to cut up a little bit of green onion. Okay. Alright. And voila, let me clean up this little side right here. A little mushroom wanted to get out of line. There we go. All right, and voila, you have beef short ribs that is marinated and glazed in red wine over some mashed potatoes. So hopefully you enjoyed this recipe. Make sure that you give it a try. I'm finna eat this because I'm hungry. It is almost 8 o'clock at night. So yes, total cooking time for this was 6 hours. About 6.5 hours. I had this in the oven so it can get really nice. So yeah, it takes a little time, but it's well worth it. So I'm about to enjoy my food, and I will see y'all next time on another Cook With Me. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.